guys and gals, this is Barbie Figueroa with RiseMarketingAndDesign.com, and thank you so much for watching my video. So in today's video, I want to share with you a little bit about my journey on how I kind of made the leap from lead converting website designer to a full-time digital marketer. And it hasn't been an easy journey. It has been a long journey full of ups and downs, but nonetheless, it's been a very valuable journey. And so I kind of wanted to share some of the things that I've learned with you along the way, because in your journey, you are going to try some things that maybe fit, maybe don't, and you're thinking, gosh, you know what, I'm just going to quit altogether. But what I want to share with you are how to focus on those little things that you need to kind of pick up on through your journey, because those things will actually start guiding you into the right direction. And if you stick with it long enough, you're going to make it. So with that being said, if you would like to hear more about how I went from struggling lead converting website designer to full-time digital marketer, then keep on watching. Alright guys and gals, this is Barbie Figueroa with RiseMarketingAndDesign.com. Please take just one little moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would truly appreciate that. Alright guys and gals, so it's been a long journey. I really started with one main goal and one main desire, and that was this. I knew what I wanted my life to look like, and I definitely knew what I didn't want my life to look like, right? One of the reasons that we get stuck is because we don't have a vision of the final ultimate goal of what you want your life to look like, or what you don't want it to look like, because sometimes it helps to know what you don't want it to look like than what you do want it to look like. And you also have to realize that you can't plan your way into what your life is going to look like, because I have thought that I could plan things out, and then the guy in charge, he has a better plan than I do. And so that forces me to course correct along the way. So since my overarching main goal was to build a business that would also allow me to have a life, and by that I meant being present, being there for my family, not being on my computer all day, not being on my phone all day, things like that. It took a lot of time to finally get there, okay? So the one thing that you need to learn about your journey is that it is truly a marathon. It is not a sprint. It may happen quickly for some people, but for most people that I know, and myself included, it takes a while, because even though you may have spurts of success in your journey, meaning you might have a windfall and make a lot of money, if you don't have an actual solid foundation to what you're doing, it can disappear. Because I've been a top earner in programs that have disappeared. You see what I'm saying? So I had no control over that. But it was part of my learning process, which is why you need to pay attention to those little things that are happening. And instead of seeing them as bad things, see them as clues to planning your next step, to try to figure out what your next step is. Okay, so what I did was I ended up obviously quitting my 9-to-5 job. This is many years ago. I'm talking about 20 something years ago. Okay, actually 19 something years ago, because my son is 19 years old now. And I started an at-home job, right? But my son started getting older, he started getting louder, and so I really couldn't do my job properly because he was always around and making noise and stuff like that. And it was an at-home operator job, so you couldn't sound when you're taking calls for big corporations that there's a baby in the background, obviously. So then my next step after that was like, well, how can I make money where I don't have to be on the phone, because people are going to hear my son in the background? And so I started dabbling into eBay, right? And so I started to learn how to become an eBay seller. And so I did okay, but For me, it just wasn't my thing. I don't really enjoy retail, but it was part of my process because that is where I learned about branding and marketing, right? I learned branding and marketing through doing eBay and through designing eBay stores for other sellers. See, because once I saw that the successful sellers were marketing and branding themselves, whereas the unsuccessful sellers were struggling because they weren't using the right keywords, they weren't presenting their information in the right way, they weren't creating their listings where it would compel people to buy. I noticed that the successful sellers and the unsuccessful sellers were selling the exact same thing, but the ones that were doing well were doing it in a very specific way. So even though eBay didn't work out for me, I learned something from it. It made me interested in branding and marketing. And it also taught me that I didn't want to be on my computer all the time, right? So when people saw that because what I did was I actually revamped my eBay store and I started marketing and branding in a completely different way. And I became a top seller within 90 days. I went from 0 to silver power seller in just 90 days, which it's not that easy to do, but I did it back then, you know? But I just, it wasn't my thing. Retail, that was not my final stop, and I knew it. And so what happened though was when I started doing really well, people started asking me to design their stores. So I pivoted and I started designing people's stores, right? And then I realized, oh my gosh, I love the creative process. I love working with different type of businesses. I love the challenge of trying to figure out someone's branding, someone's positioning, someone's marketing angle. I just love that. But I didn't love the feeling of being an employee and working for someone else. I didn't enjoy that. And so I kind of left that because I realized, you know, I really created myself a job. So you see, even though I didn't stay with that thing, it taught me what I needed to take the next step. You see, this is why it's not an overnight thing. It is a journey, because the journey shows you what you're made of, and the journey reveals to you where you need to go. You can't see things as failure. You have to see it as stepping stones, right? So anyhow, then I just got tired of the eBay environment, too many fees. I just wasn't my thing. And so I pivoted and I just started really becoming obsessed with how can I make money even when I'm not at my computer. And then I discovered my first internet marketing affiliate program, which was kind of like a business program. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. This is my way out. This is how I'm going to stop feeling like an employee, right? And then I realized, well, if I wanted to sell a $2,000 program, I wasn't going to do it just pitching it to people. That wasn't going to work. And so I needed to learn marketing skills. So I put in $500 into Google pay-per-click, and I literally crashed and burned because I had no idea what I was doing. And that, my friends, taught me that you have to invest in your skill set. You have to invest in your own knowledge rather than continue to invest and throw money at stuff. It's wiser to invest more thoughtfully and more carefully so that you can improve yourself and improve your skill sets. So what I ended up doing was I invested into mentorship because that was my shortcut to get to where I wanted to go. Continued to throw money at advertising, not knowing what I was doing, not having any strategy, not having any end to a goal because I didn't know what I was doing. That was the quick way to burn money and go broke. That money invested in mentoring from someone that already knew what they were doing, that was priceless. That was money well invested. And then once I discovered that, you know, pay-per-click could get really expensive really fast, I was like, I need to find a different way to generate leads so that I'm going to spend myself out of business. So then I invested another $2,000 into a mentoring program that taught me how to do video marketing by creating content that would generate traffic and leads for my offers. And that investment has paid me over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that is the value of looking at your journey and not looking at things like failure, but looking at them as stepping stones along the way. And knowing that if you invest in the right things, see, once you invest in yourself, no one can take that away from you. That was one of the best investments I've ever made in my life, and it was $2,000 because that equipped me with the skill set to do video marketing, which I use all the time in all of my marketing. And I mean, it's made me lots of money online, okay? And so now everything is kind of in alignment, right? I know video marketing and I'm promoting these business opportunities, but then I discovered I don't have control of these business opportunities, and at any moment they can be gone. So all these little things are teaching me things, what I do want and what I don't want. I wanted more of that leveraged marketing, hands off, do the work once and let it continue work for you. I wanted less of that chasing, convincing, prospecting, total strangers. So I knew that that wasn't my path, right? And it wasn't going to get me to my ultimate goal of, building a business that allows you to have a life. When those opportunities went away, I went back to what I knew, which was web design. And so the last stop that I had before where I am right now is I was, those business opportunities were just unstable. They didn't work out. Or I wasn't doing enough of the right things in my business. So I just wasn't making enough money to sustain myself. So I always had to go back to web design, which is fine, but I still didn't. I loved the web design. I loved the branding. I loved the, figuring out the marketing angle. I loved all of that. But I just couldn't get out of performing the work as a service provider for someone else. And I didn't want to expand an agency because I didn't see myself in that capacity of, managing a bunch of outsourcers who were going to help me grow that business. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to rise. I wanted to teach. I wanted to share my knowledge and empower people and encourage people because those are the things that I'm strong in. And so then I finally kind of all came together when I discovered an opportunity that helped me use everything that I've learned along the way, right? And helped me use all of my strengths and talents to just come to this this peak, right? Of where finally everything fits. And so this particular opportunity has to do with internet marketing, digital marketing, design, funnels, conversion, all that stuff. And I did really, 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 really well. And now I'm at the point in my journey where I'm like, now that I have this amazing, opportunity as my backbone of my business, now how can I personally, achieve that next goal, which is how do I rise up and help train and teach others in my own capacity to build my own brand. And that's when I made probably the second most valuable investment. I just invested another $2,000 to train with an industry legend, and I'm super excited about it. And his name is Jeff Walker, and he is the creator of the product launch formula. And so every step of the journey has taught me a few things. That every step of the journey is a stepping stone. It's a learning process as long as you look at it that way. Nothing is ever wasted, and any step forward is still movement. But what I want to encourage you with this video is that it takes work and it takes focus, but it also takes a lot of trial and error, and that is just part of the journey, and you gotta be okay with it. You gotta be okay with it. But I can tell you one thing, that if you stay focused and if you continue to move forward, recognizing that each step of your journey is teaching you or course correcting you, it's going to be worth it. It's going to totally be worth it. So I just wanted to share that with you because sometimes we need to be reassured that you're on the right track, and that what might feel like a failure or like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I quit this thing and now I joined this thing, and it's all part of the process if you are using it as your like school of hard knocks, right? Some people do those things and they just waste a bunch of time, they quit everything and they just go back to whatever they were doing before. But some people continue, and when you continue, it's because there's something inside you that knows that if you just keep going, that next stop just might be that breakthrough that you've been looking for. So I just wanted to share that with you. So if you would want to share what part of the journey you're in, I would love to hear more about that. Please leave your comments right below this video. And if this helped kind of like give you permission to, you know it's okay to make those mistakes, and just hopefully gave you a different view on the unraveling of your journey, then go ahead and leave me a comment right below this video. And if you enjoyed this video, gave you an aha moment, or if it inspired you, please go ahead and like this video, and make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell if you want to be alerted the next time that I upload a video to my YouTube channel. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. This has been Barbie Figueroa with RiseMarketingAndDesign.com, and I will see you on another video.